Welcome everyone to Friday's Inspiration. I have a new setup here today. And so pardon my delay. Took a minute to get set up. So doing this on my hotspot. And I thought my computer was charging all night. We only have 19%. So we're going to do as much as we can today. And if it dies before we finish, then that's the way it is. So today we are talking about 5 places to connect to your higher self. And this is really important because, a lot of people think when they think of connecting to their higher self, they might think of going to a church. This is where they connect with their higher self. Or maybe they go to the top of the mountain, or maybe to the ocean or out in nature. And that's not to say that any of those things are wrong or that you can't connect to pure source energy that way. But we're going to be talking about something much different. All of those are on the outside of yourself. And what we're going to be talking about is places you can access that are within yourself or within your energy field. So super important because these are always available, no matter where you are, whether you're in lockdown, whether you're in prison, whether you're isolated somehow, you always have access to being able to connect to your higher power in this way. And so when I'm talking about your higher self is what we were talking about, it's that part of you that knows innately what's best for you. And it has this infinite intelligence. It has this deep inner knowing, that trust, that intuition, that deep intuition that just knows. And so today we're going to be discussing 5 places where you can access this. And some of these, it's not like it's new to you, but maybe you hadn't quite thought about it in these ways. So the very first place is right in your heart, right in your heart chakra. So in your heart, this is the primary place where you access your infinite intelligence, that deep inner knowing. And in your heart, this is also a place that has come under attack the most by the powers that be that don't want us to access our heart. They don't want us to access that part of us that is solution oriented, that knows what's best for us, that knows what's innately best for even other people. And so this deep inner knowing exists in our heart chakra. It's that deep feminine part of our energy field. And this has also been pushed down and oppressed by the amnesia program, is what I call it. It's that part of us that the bigger powers that be, the powers that are influencing and oppressing and keeping humanity in the dark. There is an amnesia program that has been instituted eons ago. Only now in this time period in humanity is when we're waking up. You hear all the time about this great awakening. Well, this is part of the amnesia that we're coming out of. And part of that amnesia program is a part that has wanted us to forget that we know how to self-generate love right in our heart. And the amnesia program wants us to keep looking on the outside for someone to love us, and that we feel empty and lost and alone without this person or thing on the outside. Some of you use your animals for that, that we feel completely lost and disconnected unless we have something on the outside that we're connected to. So this is part of that amnesia program, making us forget that right here is where we can always be connected to our higher self, and we can self-generate love. And then from there, when you go out to find a partner or you magnetize a partner, you're going to attract someone more aligned to that energy, so that 2 lost souls are not trying to find each other and connect and fill those empty places, empty spots. So that's the first place, is right in our heart. This is where we connect to our higher self. The second place is our mind. Now, because, when you think of the mind, you think of intelligence, also knowledge, knowing, that inner knowing. But where is the mind? A lot of people think it's here in our brain. So the mind is a masculine energy. And the mind doesn't actually live in a specific location like the brain, because it's located in every cell in our body, our mind. So that's why our cells can communicate with each other, because they have a mind. All these cells have minds where they are able to talk to each other, communicate. They all have a deep inner knowing, like we'll just say the lungs know how to operate. The cells in the lungs know how to operate. They know what to do. They know how to gather oxygen. They know how to process. They just know, right? And so every cell in our body has a knowing about what its role is, what its job is, how to communicate with other cells in your body. So that's another place where we can connect with the mind, that deep inner knowing. It's another part of our higher self. A third place is so this is an energetic place. It's in our creative rings above our head. So above our head, there are between 3 and 50 of these creative rings that hover above our head. They're like big gold wedding bands, about so big. And they stack on top of above our head. And they have a space in between each of the rings, and they hover above our head. So you have between 3 and 50. And so what these rings do is they hold your dreams, your desires, your goals, your intentions. That's all part of our higher self, a part of us that knows what we desire to do. And so this is part of our energy field. And in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, that was published this past November, it explains and talks about the whole process. This is part of the infinity system that processes all of our energy in a very specific way, so that all of our parts, our energetic parts, our physical parts, all work together because of this higher self, this higher part of us that works all in harmony. So I'm sharing 5 of these higher places, this higher self of ours that all works in conjunction. And I'm discussing the energetic parts of that. So these creative rings, as pure source comes down through these creative rings, and we're going to include this in a MediClearing I'm going to do in a moment, depending on how much battery we have left. But we're going to run energy through this whole infinity system, so you can see how a lot of these energetic parts work. But these creative rings, so a lot of people think more is better. So not necessarily, unless you're ready. So more does not get revealed until you're ready. So when I do an energy clearing with clients, they often start with so many, maybe 3, 5, maybe 10, but they always end up with more, because we've cleared a lot of the energy, so you have greater access to these rings. So the more rings you have, the faster you create, the bigger you create, the more intensely you create. But the good side, bad side, or downside of having more rings is that the rings don't care what it amplifies. It doesn't care what it's creating. It's going to create the intentions you hold up here in conjunction with all the energies that you're holding in your energy field. So if you are carrying a lot of anger, whether you realize it or not, or a lot of fear, the more rings you have, the more those energies are going to get amplified. So it's a really easy way to see when you're off track. If you have a lot of rings, like, you may not even know if you have 50 rings, but you know that you're a great manifester, but you always seem to manifest in the wrong direction. So this is a really great thing to know, is how many rings you have, so you know how you're operating with your energy field. So the vibrational altitude report is a great way to discover that. I measure 40 different things, and then you can know exactly where you are in the scheme of things. So the creative rings is one of those things that I measure. So that's another part of where you access your higher self. This also, these rings also help you to access your Akashic records. So that is all the knowing of the past, in the past, and out into the future. So these Akashic records hold all the history, whether it's in history in the past is what you usually think of history, but it also holds all the knowledge out into the future. And that is a whole nother topic, talking about timelines, so we're not going to go there today. So the creative rings is the third place where you access your higher self. A fourth place I want to talk about and include is right at your crown. So your crown is your seventh chakra. This is the place where you access your personal permission. Like you're the one who's in charge, right? You're the one who allows whatever is happening in your life. So it doesn't matter. So a lot of people think that their willpower is the most important thing. Like you could have a lot of will, a lot of desire, but if you're not giving yourself permission right here at the crown, you can have all this desire, but then it comes up against a wall because there's another part of you that like hasn't opened the gate, hasn't unlocked the door so that you can actually have and allow yourself to receive all the dreams and desires that you're holding up in that crown. So that's why I want to include the crown as another part of accessing your higher self, because that's kind of like the gatekeeper. It allows the will to do its thing. It allows the will to take inspired action and to do the things that you know will take you to that next step. So personal permission in the crown as the fourth place that I'm talking about, where to access your higher self. The fifth and final place that I wanted to include, and this is how I discovered this, is talked about in the book. And this is located, because we're talking about places, this is located in the 20th layer of your aura, the most powerful part of your energy field. This is where you access your innate warrior. I also used to refer to it as your awakened predator. So predator in the sense of like the predator cats. The predator cats, there's a tribe in Africa that never gets eaten by the predator cats because they operate much like those predator cats. They access and are deeply connected to this innate warrior part of themselves, where they have 360 degrees of awareness in every direction, above, below, behind, in front, in every direction. They know what's going on around them at all times. So that's a part of this innate warrior. This innate warrior also has access, when you're at your full capacity, to 360 senses. So this is the same amount of senses that people had access to when Egypt was at its height. There's an Egyptian that talked about this, a historian, in a Netflix series that I was listening to one day. And so I tapped into those senses, and then I started counting, well, how many do I have? How many senses does my mentor have? He's kind of like my barometer, fully awakened, Masajati. And so this is also another one of the things that I measure in this report, how many senses you have access to that this innate warrior has activated. So this is how I'm able to access my infinite intelligence, is I tap into my higher self and I tap into these extra senses that most people are just unaware of. It's not that they don't have these senses. It's not like I'm better than anyone else. I've just cleared more of the energy so that I can access more of these things, so that I can read someone's energy on the other side of the planet that I've never met, I know nothing about, and have never spoken to, not even seen a picture. Sometimes I don't even have a name. I just have an email address. And they always comment on how accurate the reading is. So if that's something you're curious about, that's where it always starts for people who want to work with me and access more of their infinite intelligence. So that's where it all starts, is knowing where you're at on the vibrational scale, right? So that's all done with the vibrational altitude report. So let's tap into and see how much battery we have left to be able to do this. Well, we have 13%. That could be enough because we've already talked for nearly a half hour and or 20 minutes. So this could be enough to be able to do the clearing that I had planned today. It's getting warm in here, so let's go ahead and I'm going to walk you through the process of that, what I call running your energy. And this is the process that I use all the time. All of my clients, including millionaire clients, use to keep their energy field clear. This is also the process I walk you through specifically when I do an energy clearing for you. But this will just give you a taste. So we're doing this as a group. And sometimes this is actually more powerful for some people in some ways, because it's like we create this mastermind. And the people, all of you who are here, both on Facebook and on YouTube, we're doing this as a group. Let me look and see if you have any questions. Answering specific questions about you and your specific problems, which we will do on Tuesdays. But I just wanted to check and see if you have any questions about what I'm talking about today. Got my big glasses on today. So we'll see if you have some questions with you or for what I'm talking about today. Hey, Adriana from Texas. It's nice to know where you guys are from. Roma's from London. Suzaida, great having you here. And between 30 and 50 rings. Yes, 50 rings is max. At least that's the most I've found. Do you lose rings? Yes, sometimes it's not that you lose rings. It's more like you access a certain amount of rings. And then if it's too much, you might come back down and acclimate before you expand out again. So thank you. That's a good question about what we're talking about today. So thanks for keeping it relevant. Shawnee, nice having you here. And let's see. Where are we here? Yes, so Suzaida had her vibrational altitude report and a clearing. She says it's so worth it. Natalie, nice having you here from South Africa. Great. Hey, Jackie. And Roslyn. Can you check in about getting a down payment on a new home? That would be for Tuesday. That would be a great question. So today we're just talking about the Friday's inspiration. Suzaida's from Carlsbad. Great. Today we're just talking about this specific subject, and I'm doing a MediClearing now on this specific subject to help you access these 5 places so you can connect in a stronger way with your higher self. So that's what we're going to do now. So no other questions. So let's go ahead and get started while we have battery. And we're going to start, and this is all with your free imagination. We're going to start by placing your attention right at the base of your spine. And you're going to attach a grounding cord from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the planet. Make it big and fat, at least as big as a cantaloupe to accommodate all the energies we're going to release. This operates like gravity in no effort. And that's attached securely to the center of the planet now. So now you're going to send roots down from your feet. These roots are going to go all the way down through the Earth's crust, past the center of the Earth. In fact, it's going to go all the way to the other side of the planet. We're talking about getting ultra grounded. And then it's going to come out the other side. It's going to wrap around the entire earth. And then from here, we bring that earth energy up through the legs. It's coming up slowly up to about the knees. It's kind of stopping there. So if you're having a hard time changing directions, this is where keeping the knees clear, this channel through the legs, is really important. It's also important that when you're first starting this practice, that you do this with your feet flat on the ground. When you're in that lotus position, it cuts off this energy of the legs. So we want that to come up through the legs and then down the grounding cord, up the legs, down the grounding. Great. And then, so you have 2 loops of energy. We're going to check and see if you have a worry circle. So ideally, you will not. The worry circle radiates around that root chakra, out horizontally, like a big hula hoop. We're going to go out to the 3rd layer of your aura. So just imagine, pretend you know where that is. And we're going to pull in this circle. We're going to dump all that energy down the grounding, all the worry, stress, anxiety, doubts, fear, uncertainty. All down your grounding. Excellent. So just doing that much, if you forget everything else that we do today, if you remember just those 3 parts to getting ultra grounded, whenever you start to feel worried, anxious, kind of spun out, maybe it doesn't feel like you're in your body all the way, just do those 3 parts and release. Just release. Super important. So now we're going to bring pure source energy down through these creative rings. That's that first part that we were talking about, to access your higher self. So as we're bringing this energy down through the creative rings, it's going to recalibrate these at your highest and best interests. So it doesn't matter if you know how many you have or not at this point. It's going to clear whatever you have. Okay, so it's kind of getting stuck on those few rings right above your crown. Just going to recalibrate these. So just keep putting that energy through these rings for a moment. So I'm tapping into all of your energy out there. So we're not just walking you through a process. I'm actually behind the scenes here, feeling for the energies that are blocked. We're doing real stuff with all of you at the same time. So as we bring this energy down through the rings, now it's coming into the crown, that place where you give yourself your personal permission to access your higher self. The congestion here, there's another circle up here. It's a permission circle. It's congested all the way out to the 15th layer. This is where the 1%, that oppressive energy on the planet, hangs out so that you don't have access to your personal permission. But we know how to clear this energy. So we're going to pull in this circle. We're going to pull that circle all the way in. But we're going to pull it up through the central core. Spirit has now directed that these energies get sent off planet. So we're going to pull all of these energies into the central core. It pulls into that 2nd layer where there's some fear of accessing your own power. So this is your fear of your own power. Like, you're powerful, right? But it scares people to know how powerful we are. And it scares ourselves. It makes other people nervous. Like when they know we can see beyond the masks, we can see past the games. That makes people nervous. They can't hide anymore. And so this is why, you were killed lifetime after lifetime. And this is also some of the energies you bump up against. So we're clearing all of this out of the crown, and then we're going to lift it up through that central core, sending it off planet. Okay, then we're going to go back, and we're going to bring pure source back down through the rings, through the crown, through that 6th chakra right here where it's stopping. We're going to go out in front and behind, out to the 3rd layer of the aura. So this is where there's beliefs. of your limiting beliefs about how powerful you are. I'm going to pull that energy in. We can drop this down the grounding. So if you're confused about whether we should go up or down, get the book. It explains all of that. Okay, great. So now we're bringing pure source down through that sixth chakra, down into the throat, down into your heart. Great. The most powerful part of where we access our higher self. We're going to go out in front and behind at the heart so we can access more of the power of our heart. So we're going to pull in this energy right here at the heart. Great. I'm going to drop that down the grounding cord. Great job. You might be able to feel some of these energies as they're releasing. Great. So we're going to just drop all those energies down the grounding. So now as we go back to bringing pure source down through the heart, down into that solar plexus, down into the second chakra, spilling down the root. So I want you to take a deep breath into this really powerful alignment where you're connected with pure source way up high and rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. We're going to mix these two energies together now. And as I'm thinking, the thought that just came in was to share this with your friends. Share this with people that you know can benefit from accessing more of their higher self, clearing some darker, lower vibrating energies out of their energy field. You can always listen to the recording, but I think tapping in live is best. So we're going to go ahead and now we're going to mix a 50-50 mixture up the front, real close to the spine as it's coming up through the second and the solar plexus. So it's getting stuck right there at your power center. We're going to go out to the third layer, both front and back. Just imagine you know where that is. This is that energy that stops you, that makes you afraid, that makes you feel tired, distracted, unmotivated. It just stops you and makes you feel stuck. Did I say tired? It can make you tired too. All right, we're just going to drop all that down the grounding. And now we're bringing this energy up through the solar plexus, this 50-50 mixture, up into the heart where it's stopping again. And we're going to just, let's see, we're going to go all the way to the 15th layer. That's that 1% influence. This is where they hang out, in the 15th layer. So we're going to pull in their influence out of the heart, the most powerful part of the feminine energy in both men and women, that accesses our deep inner knowing, our infinite intelligence, that part of us that just knows. And we're going to pull this influence up through the central core, sending it off planet. Okay, great. And then we're going to go back to bringing that 50-50 mixture up through the heart and the throat, sixth chakra, where it's stopping again. So more beliefs right here. Let's go out to the third layer, both front and back, pulling in those limiting and lack mindsets that keep us feeling powerless, like there's nothing we can do about what's going on around us. That may be so, but we can control what's going on here, right? Stop getting pulled outward. That's what they want. They want you to be pulled outward because the answers are in here and they know that. So they're going to keep distracting you with all this stuff on the outside. So this is why we keep disconnecting from all that stuff and keep going inward. All right, great. So we're going to pull this 50-50 mixture up through that sixth chakra, out the crown, out through all of your rings. It's going to cascade down through all the layers of your aura. And then it's like paint being poured over a balloon. And when that gets below your feet, like you're in a big cocoon, it's going to merge with your grounding cord so it has a place to release. We're going to pay special attention to the third layer of your aura, and especially around your throat, where you may feel maybe silenced, where you can't speak up. can't speak your truth in the environment that you're in. Maybe you're being censored on social media. There's a lot of that going on. Okay. So we're releasing this third layer, clearing the effort, the pushing, the chasing, the forcing energy out of our energy field. And then we're going to jump out to the 15th layer. Just imagine or pretend you know where that is. We're going to start at the bottom. This is that 1% energy that needs to be sent off planet. So as we're lifting this energy up out of this layer of our energy field, the 15th layer, it kind of gets heavy up around the heart and that 6th and 7th chakra. So we're just going to lift that up and out, sending it off planet. Okay. And then the 20th layer wants to get grounded. So you remember I was talking about our innate warrior, our awakened predator. So we're going to start at the top and we're going to clear this layer. So a lot around the heart. There's a lot around the heart and the solar plexus. So we're just going to drop all this energy down the grounding so you have more access to another part of your higher self, your innate warrior. Okay, great. Okay, the rest of the aura is clear. Great. So next we're going to clear your circle of reciprocity. That's the upper 4 chakras and all of your rings. We're going to bring all of that energy out your right arm. So out your right arm. Receiving starts with giving first, giving from the heart. So we're going to bring that heart energy out the right arm, that masculine side that implements things, that gets things done. The masculine energy is the energy of the mind. Remember, we talked about that earlier. So we're going to bring this energy out that right arm. So it's out to about your elbow. Just keep breathing and releasing. We have to give of ourselves, we have to have that outward energy before we can have an inward energy. Giving and implementing is what starts the circle. Okay, great. So now put your hands together, your fingertips like this, so that the energy passes through the palms and through all of the fingertips. So we're going to bring that energy into the left receiving side, that powerful feminine energy. So your crown is going to give you permission to allow yourself to receive. This is not about other people giving to you. This is about you allowing yourself to receive. Okay, so as you bring that up the arm through the shoulder, just coming through here, it's going to create that circle of energy. So we're coming out the right arm in the left. It's going to pass through the front and back of the heart, back out the right arm in the left. Clearing that powerful connection to our higher self at the heart. Excellent. And then simultaneously through the throat, through that 6th chakra, through the crown, through all of your rings. Great. So now that circle of reciprocity is clearing all of your upper 4 chakras and your rings. Excellent. Great. So in review, this, we have 7% left. Okay, great. We have the 5 places that we've cleared that will help you access more of your higher self so you can connect to your higher self. We've cleared the heart energy, the heart space. We've cleared the energy of the mind, which is that masculine energy. So we cleared that as we brought the energy out that right arm. And just by thinking with our thoughts, we connect with the mind energy in every cell of our body. So that's another place how we connected to that mind energy. Also, we cleared our creative rings. That was the third place that we connect to our higher self. We also cleared the crown, which is where you give yourself personal permission. Your permission allows your willpower to take action. And then that last place that we cleared is right at that innate warrior, that 20th layer of our aura. We've cleared all 5 of those places. So if you would like to come back and listen to this again so you can keep your energy field clear. And there's also a free 20-minute meditation that you can access. It's called Running Your Energy, and I'm about to post the new one. I've recorded the new one that's a little more updated. The one that's online is a couple years old, but it still works. And half of it is designed to help you raise your money vibration. So for those of you who are still struggling with that, super powerful. So this is a process you should be doing on a regular basis, just like brushing and flossing our teeth. We do regularly. And so this is the process to maintain that higher vibration, connect with your higher self, that part of you that has that deep inner knowing that knows what's best for you. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Share this with your friends, family, like, subscribe, do all those great things. And we will meet you back here on Tuesday, where we'll entertain those personal, private, specific to you questions so that I can look at your energy field, give you a brief energetic clearing, some suggestions to help you keep taking those next effortless actions. Go out and enjoy this weekend. And again, my book is available on Amazon. Access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. You're welcome, Sandra. Glad you enjoyed it. And Natalie, you're so welcome. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. This would be completely irrelevant, unimportant, and without any value without you to receive it. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing it with your friends. And I'll meet you back here on Tuesday. All right. Sending much love. TGIF. Have a great weekend. Namaste.